Hey guys, our today's topic is determination of foreign exchange in free market. Now let us first understand what is foreign exchange market. Foreign exchange is a type of market in which foreign currencies are bought and sold, like share market. In share market, like the way shares are bought and sold, in a similar way there is foreign exchange market where the foreign currencies are bought and sold. And when the currencies are bought and sold, they are sold at some rate which is called as foreign exchange rate, which is also called as forex rate. So let us understand this with an example. So for example, if you have to buy $1 and you have to pay rupees 62, then the rate 62 is per dollar is the exchange rate. So when you have to pay rupees 62 to buy $1, that is the foreign exchange rate. For example, when the 62 price becomes 64, then it called currency depreciation. That means earlier you have to pay 62 rupees to buy $1, now you have to pay 64 rupees to buy $1. That means you have to pay rupees 2 extra to buy $1. The other thing is that currency appreciation. That means earlier you have to pay 62 rupees and now you have to pay 60 rupees to buy the $1. That means now you have to pay 2 rupees less to buy that $1. This is called as currency appreciation. Now let us understand the foreign exchange market, functions of foreign exchange market. So there is one function as transfer function where you pay 62 rupees to buy $1. That means there is transfer of currencies, that is called as transfer function. The next is credit function. That means the transaction is done today but the payment is made on some future date. For example, I do the transaction now today and then I'll promise to pay the payment on some future date after 3 months. So that is called as credit function. If you see, all international transactions are done on credit basis. They make a bill, in that they write everything that the transaction has been done today and they promise to make the payment in the future date. So and so is the rate today as well. So according to that they will pay on so and so date. So they make a proper bill and everything and they do it on credit basis. Now the third one is hedging function. A hedge is an investment that protects your finance from a risky situation. That means I do any transaction on 1st Jan where the rate is going on as $1 is equal to 62 rupees, and on 1st April when I have to make the payment, then the rate is 64. That means I have to pay rupees 2 extra, and to bear this loss I use the function of hedging. That means if I am making the payment on 1st Jan, if I am making the transaction on 1st Jan, I promise to pay the transaction, to pay the amount on 1st April on the same date which was going on 1st Jan. That means on 62 rupees I will make the payment, not for 64, because I have used the hedging function. So in a similar way, when on 1st April the rate becomes 60 rupees, that means 2 rupees less as compared to 62 rupees, then also I will make him the payment of 62 because we use the hedging function and we told that we will be paying the amount which was on the date of transaction, that is 1st Jan. Now let us understand the kind of foreign exchange market. There are two kinds of foreign exchange market. First is spot market and the second is forward market. Spot market means on the spot settlement. If you make the transaction today, you make the payment today. On the spot settlement. Forward market is settlement is done on some future date. Now we will study the main topic, that is determination of foreign exchange and the equilibrium rate of foreign exchange. Now determination of foreign exchange means how it determines, how the foreign exchange determines. It determined by the forces of demand and supply. What the demand and supply is there in the market, accordingly it will determine our foreign exchange rate. When the demand for foreign exchange is equal to the supply of foreign exchange, that particular point is called as equilibrium rate. Now let us understand this with an example. This is the demand curve and this is the supply curve. Demand curve is downward sloping and supply curve is upward sloping. So when the demand is 30, when the price is 30 and the demand is 3, this point of E, where the demand is equal to supply, this point of E is called as equilibrium point. This is also called as point of intersection. As you all have studied the law of demand and supply, in a similar way the foreign exchange law works. When the price of foreign exchange increases, demand for foreign exchange decreases. When the price of foreign exchange decreases, demand for foreign exchange increases. It has a negative relationship. And when the price of foreign exchange increases, supply of foreign exchange also increases. It has a positive relationship. This is the definition that you can refer to, and this is the diagram. For example, this is the point where the demand and supply is equal. Whatever is the demand, that much is the supply, so this is equilibrium point. So for example, if you are at this stage here where the supply is this much and the demand is this much, like supply is less but the demand is more, this is called as excess demand. So to come at the equilibrium point, you have to increase the price. So in excess demand situation, rate gets increased. So if, for example, if you are at this point, okay, where the supply is more but the demand is less, this is called as excess supply point, where the supply is more but the demand is less. So in this case, to come at the equilibrium point, you have to decrease the price. Here the rate gets decreased to come at the equilibrium point. This is your point of intersection, that is the equilibrium point, and this is the whole your determination of foreign exchange. This is how the demand and supply will determine your foreign exchange. So you can refer this notes for your answers. Now we have understood that with the demand and supply, the foreign exchange gets determined. Now let us understand what determines the demand and supply, how the demand is there, how the supply is there for foreign exchange in the market. So first we will take this as sources of demand and supply. So first there is purchase of foreign goods by domestic residents, that is import, purchase of foreign goods. For example, I want a Gucci bag, okay. So Gucci is an international brand. So if I want this bag, the exporter, that is the importer, will import it from foreign country. So there is demand of foreign exchange. Second one is payment of international loan. If any MNC has taken any loan, international loan, then they have to repay that loan in foreign exchange. The next is gift and grant to the rest of the world. For example, Nepal met an earthquake, then Indian government went ahead and helped the Nepal government with some funds. Similarly, there are a lot of great gifts that are exchanged. Next is investment in rest of the world. If tomorrow we invest in any other country, then there is demand for foreign exchange. Then there is demand for foreign exchange because we have to trade in that particular currency. So there is again demand for foreign exchange. The next is tourism. For example, if we go abroad for some holidays or something, then we have to trade in their own currency. So again there is demand for foreign exchange. Now let us understand the sources of supply for foreign exchange. First one is the purchase of domestic goods by foreigner, that is export. For example, any foreigner in foreign, there is demand for some Rajasthani crockeries or some shawls which are made especially in India. So there is demand of some Indian products by the foreigner, then we export it. So there is inflow of foreign currencies in India. There is FDI. If there is any foreign direct investment in India, then there is again supply of foreign exchange. Now speculation purchase. Speculation purchase, when trader feels that there are chances of speculation in the market and he is going to earn some handsome profit, then they get involved in speculative purchase. For example, if I make any payment on Indian market, for example, I purchase any product for ₹10 and I sold it in the foreign market on any other currency for ₹12. So the difference of ₹2 is my profit. So this is called as speculative purchase, buying in one platform for lower price and selling it on other market for higher price. So the difference is the profit. This is called as speculative purchase. Tourism and remittance abroad. When any tourist comes in India, then he would require the local currency, then he would be supplying his own currency, then there is supply of foreign exchange. Now, transfer of foreign exchange. Transfer of foreign exchange means if your any relatives is staying abroad, then obviously they are living there, they are earning there, then they will be transferring some money to their native places, to their parents, to their relatives in India. So there is transfer of there is inflow of foreign exchange in India. So this was the topic, guys, today. So please refer the notes for your answers, and all the best for your exams. Thank you.